Perhaps one of the most thrilling trips that the ego can go on is to persuade itself that it is a loving and caring thing. New Age spiritual groups are full of all this kind of thing. In fact, I speak to these kind of people fairly regularly, and they will tell me that they are loving, caring people, except for when you contradict them. Or except for when you push in front of them in a queue or something, anything to sort of tread on their corns a little bit, and then they're not caring, loving people. Now, the theme of this particular podcast is around the whole idea of caring. And before you become too outraged, let me just say that if you were in a situation, or if I was in a situation where there was somebody nearby who was in distress and I could offer them help and relieve that distress, then yes, of course, I would do that. Nearly all human beings would do that. There are some that wouldn't, but they're the minority, the psychopaths and the sociopaths of our world. The reason that we would do this, and possibly even put our own life in danger, is because beneath the surface we are all the same thing. It's a whole nother video, but basically the awareness that is within you is the same as the awareness that is within me. And we're all that same consciousness or awareness, or whatever word you want to use. And when that consciousness sees itself in distress, i.e. sees another person in distress, then we are naturally inclined to try and help. Now that's the only sort of touchy-feely nice bit you're going to get in this podcast. So let's talk about three things: caring about the world, caring about other people, and caring about yourself. Now, I've said in many other podcasts that a human being is 99% animal, effectively a wolf, a drooling wolf, desperate to maintain its existence. And it does this by, obviously, eating other things. We have to kill them and then eat them. By competition for territory, dominance, mating rights, survival itself, competition, violence between people to achieve these things. This is our world. And while man remains the human animal, then the world remains the same. Nothing is going to change. Do not believe that some great thing is going to appear from the sky that heralds a new world for man, because it's not going to happen. Well, it's very, 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 very unlikely that it will happen. Of course, I, no more than anybody else, understand the whole nature of life in this universe, but I'm not betting on some big face appearing in the sky and telling us all that we have to behave. I don't think it happens like that. So anyway, while people are as they are, and we're all the same, if somebody cuts you up on the motorway, you're probably going to get angry because they've imposed their will upon you. It's this animal thing of power. In fact, the very essence of all of this competition and violence and aggression is power. And the ordinary, polite person in the street, if they get into their work environment, will they possibly sabotage somebody's work if they think that that person is going to get a promotion that they want? Well, possibly. And, work environments are just a real laboratory for animal-human behavior. So anyway, the state of the world isn't going to change. Human animals will behave the way human animals do. There will be murder, genocide, callous disregard for other people's lives and so on. And the irony is that this big machine called animal existence that we all are a part of actually then requires that we care about the things that are happening. So on the one hand, it creates all this mayhem and suffering, and on the other hand, it presents it to us in the news and the newspapers and on social media and so on, and then asks us to respond to that in an emotional way. Well, it's emotional rape. This monstrous machine called life generates all this suffering, mainly driven by the survival instinct, and then we are asked to respond to it and to eat our hearts out because of the dreadful things that are happening. Well, what I'd like to suggest to you is that you don't care about all that stuff. Obviously, if there's something you can do to alleviate any of that suffering, then we do it. We're all the same thing underneath. But the bottom line is that if there is nothing you can do, then do not let this machine gobble your attention and your emotional energy, because it serves zero purpose for you. So that is one level of not caring. For many years I just didn't even look at newspapers and see the news. I do it more these days for whatever reason, but the world is like Mab. If you've seen the tale of Merlin, Mab was always effectively trying to attract Merlin's attention, and Mab had cast a spell on Merlin, and what Merlin found in the end was the only way he could get rid of Mab was to ignore her, totally blot her out, and she lost her power and the spell disappeared. So, rule number 1: if there's nothing you can do about a situation, forget it. It serves no useful purpose for you to pine and mourn and become sad and angry about what is happening in the world. So don't care about it. Let's get to personal relationships. So you will notice that a lot of people like to talk about their troubles. Many people are in actual fact something akin to vampires. They are after your emotional energy, and instinctively almost they will know how to get it. And that may be appealing to your sense of sympathy, your need to help. A lot of people are people pleasers, so the need to please someone. These people will find a way to elicit some kind of reaction from you and effectively steal your energy. So if somebody comes to you complaining about their life situation and there's nothing you can do about it or nothing you want to do about it, then the best thing to do is not care. And you know what? If you stop giving these people your energy, they will go away, because they're not getting what they want. So, we don't care about the world situation, and we don't care about other people's woes, that the people that we know, people that we interact with, unless somebody says, unless I can get to the hospital in 10 minutes, something dreadful is going to happen, can you please take me? In that kind of situation you probably do something. But generally speaking, it's not like that. People are just looking for attention, and they're looking for you to sympathize and to basically give them the food of your attention. And then we come to our inner life. So let's say you're in a situation where you get a bit angry. Well, I've said on many other videos that the way to deal with the emotions is a twofold thing. One is to understand them, and most emotions derive from the survival instinct. You know, if somebody cuts you up on the motorway, they're threatening your survival to some extent and doing something dangerous, and also imposing their power over you by making you modify what you were doing. And that change in the balance of power, i.e. you having to modify what you do to their will make you angry, because a decrease of power creates hatred. And one manifestation of hatred is anger. Anyway, I've talked about this in other videos. The important thing, however, is when you get angry, to not care. To just see the anger arise, to understand why it's arisen. Somebody has challenged your power. That is the understanding. And then the observation is just looking at it. Oh yeah, oh my God, I feel angry. You know, I feel tight in my chest and my pulse is a bit raised, and yeah, I'll just sit with this. And you just sit with it. You don't try and stop it or do anything about it. It's a natural manifestation of your animal body. It's as natural as raindrops dropping off a leaf. Why try and modify it? Why try and change it? So the best attitude to have towards the anger is not to care about being angry. Or if you meet someone and they've just got themselves, some brand new Mercedes that you would dearly love, and they are boasting and telling you everything about it. I mean, it may be natural enthusiasm, but human beings, what they are, it's usually boasting. And they're boasting about their first trip out. They're going to stay at some nice hotel and yada yada yada. And you're sat there and you're starting to feel envious, and you're feeling envious because, again, this person is trying to dominate you. They're dominating you by displaying their power in front of you. And them displaying that power in turn makes you feel a little bit less powerful. And so you will hate them, and this hate will manifest as envy. Again, don't care that you feel envious. Just let it happen. Understand why you're feeling envious. This person is pissing all over you. And then observe it. Sit with it. Feel it. Don't care that you feel uncomfortable. Not caring is such a powerful thing to do. Such a powerful thing. Because life, in most of its aspects, is trying to attract our attention in one way or another. The dreadful news. People complaining about their life situations. People boasting. People trying to put you down. People evoking emotions within you. Situations evoking emotions within you. It's all going to happen. But the key to at least some kind of sane life is not to care that it's all happening. If you try and stop it all, it shows that you care. If you are angry and you're saying to yourself, well, I shouldn't really be angry, I'm a spiritual person and I shouldn't really be like this, it shows that you care about being angry. And somewhere someone has told you that being angry is a bad thing, and because you want to appear to be a good person, a caring, loving person, you shouldn't really feel this kind of anger. But just let it go, let it happen within you. Whether you express it or not is a different matter, but not caring is a habit you can establish within yourself. And guess what? In the midst of hell, you can still be happy. And in fact, there's a well-known saying, I can't remember whether it's from the Hindu or Buddhist tradition, but actually it doesn't matter. But it says that the sage can sleep peacefully in the graveyard at night. Horrible apparitions, ghosts, demons, all appearing in the graveyard at night. But guess what? The sage doesn't care. So don't care, and life will be much, much sweeter for you.